So, hello, love. So, I learned something about almost 30 years ago, and it's something I've always remembered, is you can do anything you want in life as long as it brings no harm to anyone else. And that sounds pretty easy, doesn't it? But it's really about consciousness. It's about putting yourself out there in a way that whatever you're doing is going to be of benefit, not just to yourself, but to anyone else that is you're in service to. That's to your family, to your friends, to your animal family, to your children, your grandchildren, to the plant kingdom, to Earth herself. However you want to look at that, do the best you have with what you do the best you can with what you have and give wholeheartedly. Give with greater love, greater purpose, greater sense of your own becoming into something even more because we are always growing, we're always expanding, we're always becoming something even more magnificent than we are in this very moment and now. So, this painting behind me, the center part where you have these three spirals that interconnect, came to me just through the study that I did and the research I've done of a building that's one of the oldest buildings in the entire world that is still intact. This building is in the eastern part of Ireland. It's now called Newgrange. And this particular design was carved with could have been stone and antlers because it was created at a time when no metal tools were yet um, they were discovered. Metal wasn't discovered. And so they took all these stones and rocks, huge rocks and stones, and they carved designs into them. But this one is at the interior of this building that you go through this pathway, so to speak. And during the winter solstice, when only 3 days of the year, the sun would come through and it would create like a straight line that would hit this center point on the back of the wall, which had this design on it. Now, today, because the earth has shifted, the sun doesn't hit this design, but the design is also carved on a lot of the stones that how in which the building is created. It's really quite astounding, quite beautiful, and pretty amazing how what it would have taken for these people that lived long before the time of the Egyptians when they created the pyramids, that they created this building. It took a lot of engineering ability, ingenuity, strength, and they think it took about 30 years to create this building based upon the numbers of people that would have lived at that time in that part of what is now Ireland, because it wasn't Ireland at that time. Um, anyway, a lot of people tend to think, wondering what that means, what these three spirals interconnected means. And they have different thoughts about that. It could be heaven and earth um, and what's below earth. It could be the belief systems of what are the higher gods, and then what's in between the earth, middle realm, and then the spiritual realm that's kind of below. I look at it and I think of as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. And that wouldn't have been what that was because that's basically taken from Hermetic wisdom, which wasn't from Ireland or from that part of the world. But I kind of put it into my own thinking. I also just think about what it means to me as whatever I put out there gets returned back to me, because having learned this statement or this one way of thinking is whatever I put out there is returned to me tenfold or hundredfold, and we can do anything we want as long as it brings no harm to anyone else. Sounds easy, doesn't it? But that's about consciousness. It's about thinking about what you're going to do, thinking about what you're going to say, maybe reverse engineering an idea of oh, this is what I want. So you reverse engineer what that might mean, what you need to do with that before you actually do it. So you kind of know how to go about it in a more meaningful way, greater purpose, and it's a little bit easier. But you can do anything you want as long as it brings no harm to anyone else. Do no harm, bring no harm. So whatever you're doing, if it's done with the greatest heart within you, using your good mind, taking it into your heart and giving it from that realm, it will have an enormous effect on other people. You may never know the wonderful effect that you've had on other people. You may never ever know that, and you probably won't know. You'll know it with some people. Some people will tell you. You'll know the responses that some people have. But if you're doing what you're doing in a way that's of greater benefit for whoever it is that you're in company with, or for your family, for your animal family, for Earth herself, for the plant kingdom, for your job, for your neighborhood, whatever it is you're doing it with the highest and best of intentions and putting yourself out there in a good way, it's going to create a, a butterfly effect. Whatever's going on here is going to affect something way far into the distance in a good way. So go out there and do good things and just think about what it is you're doing. Remember that whatever it is you're doing does have a great effect on someone else, and it's going to return to you tenfold. If you're putting out there something negative, it's going to return to you tenfold, and you'll be reminded of, wait a minute, maybe I need to do something a little different than that next time. But know full well that your intentions and the best of what it is you have will return to you, and it will also be a benefit to other people. It's going to be an accumulative effect for whoever it is that you're in service to. And sometimes you just have to be in service to yourself to know full well that what you're doing is for the heart of who you are, the goodness of who you are, and that the love you have, the joy that you're extending to someone else, the benefit of what it is you know is going to be support will be something that will be magnanimous. Know full well how important you are, and what it is you're doing is from the greatest of your own magnificence. Love yourself through it, and love whoever it is you're in service to, and you can't lose. So, as Grandma always told me, sending you all lots of love and knowing full well how magnificent you are. Love you bunches. Bye for now.